What is going on YouTube? Welcome back to the channel. For those of you that are new here, my name is Afzal Hussain. You can find out a bit more about me through the social media links below, or you can check out my website, which is www.afzalhussain.com. In today's video, it's been a video I've been meaning to do for a very long time. It's a Q&A to celebrate reaching 10,000 subscribers. In that time since I've been meaning to do it, we've actually, thanks to you, grown to over 15,000 subscribers. So I thought, you know what, might as well do this video sooner rather than later and do a Q&A so that you, the viewer, can get to know me, the creator of these videos, a bit better. First off, I'm going to answer a few common questions that I get in my email and my Instagram DMs, and then I'm going to go through some questions that were submitted on my previous videos comments and on Instagram. If you have sent in a question, thank you very much. If you don't hear me answer your question that you sent in, apologies in advance, because there were so many questions, so I had to be a bit selective in the ones that I answer. Now let's get straight into it. Okay, a few common questions that people ask me are to do with my background, my upbringing, where did I study. So first off, how old am I? I'm 27 years old. I was born and bred in London. I've lived in London my whole life. Where did I study? So I went to university in London, in the East End of London, so Queen Mary University of London. What did I study? I studied economics and finance. It was a 3-year degree, so BSc Economics and Finance. A lot of people think, oh, you must have got a first-class degree. Believe it or not, I didn't get a first-class degree. So yeah, you don't need a first-class degree to get an internship or to get a graduate scheme at a top company. How many siblings do I have? I've got 2 older brothers, I've got a younger sister, and I've got an older sister. Another question I get is, did I go to private school? I didn't go to private school. I went to a state school. For the international viewer, state school is the equivalent of public school. Do I currently work in the financial services? Do I currently work at an investment bank? The answer is no. I left the world of banking and finance about a year and a few months ago. So April, May 2018, I left that industry and I started my own entrepreneurial ventures. I started YouTube and I started various consulting businesses. We can talk about all of that in a little more detail, but let's get straight onto the questions that you guys have sent in. I've got 2 pages here of questions, and I'm going to try and go through them as succinctly as possible, because I've read through some of these and I can literally do a video on all of these questions, but I'm going to try and keep it short and snappy. So let's get straight into it. The first question, or the first few questions, are from S. Zabi on YouTube. Which country are you and your parents originally from? So my parents are originally from Bangladesh, but I was born and bred in London. Do you have brothers, sisters, or a girlfriend? I've got 2 brothers, 2 sisters. I don't have a girlfriend, I actually have a wife. So earlier on in April, I actually got married. So the keen-eyed viewers would see a ring on my hand. So I got married late April 2019. So yeah, I'm married. What are your hobbies? Growing up, I played a lot of football, and I actually wanted to be a footballer when I was growing up. So playing football is one of my biggest hobbies. I also go to the gym. I should go to the gym more than I do, but I like going to the gym here and there. So my wife, she's extremely good at cooking, and personally, I've always wanted to get into cooking. It can be quite therapeutic, so it's something I want to do more of. But my main hobbies are around sports and fitness, and also actually making YouTube videos. So I'm quite passionate about kind of giving back, helping students and graduates, and I see my YouTube channel as a means to doing that. And I just enjoy the process of recording, editing, and just sharing that content, adding value to the broader community, and not just strictly based in London, but globally. And YouTube allows me to do that. So those are my hobbies. What jobs have you done in your life? I've worked in various types of jobs. Growing up, I did a few jobs in retail. One of the most interesting ones was working in the 2012 Olympics. It was me and about 7, 8 of my best friends, and we worked in the 2012 Olympic Games, and it was just amazing. I've worked in various charities, so yeah, and obviously I've done lots of internships and worked in the financial services industry. As well as that, I hold a position as a trustee or a board member for a local charity, and I do work with the charity arm of Ernst & Young, so the EY Foundation. Which cities have you lived in? I've lived in London my whole life. I did a homestay in Japan when I was about 17, and that was only 2 weeks. But other than that, I've lived in London my whole life. Okay, next question. It's actually, so my wife likes to troll me. She has sent in a question. If you didn't go into finance, what career would you choose for yourself? Growing up, I wanted to be a footballer, so ideally I would have liked to go and be a professional footballer. But if I wasn't going to be a footballer and I wasn't going to go into finance, I would do exactly what I'm doing now. So some sort of entrepreneurial venture, running my own company, working for myself. Next question is from Frost Fro. He is asking, are you no longer an investment banker? If not, can you please talk about why you stopped and how you prefer what you do now compared to working at Goldman? So one misconception I want to clear up is I'm not an investment banker. I wasn't an investment banker. I was in asset management. So within an investment bank, you've got various different divisions. The front office divisions, if you want more information, a detailed look into front office versus back office, check this video. But broadly speaking, in an investment bank, you've got the front office. These are the areas of the bank that generate revenue, that tend to have longer working hours, and they tend to get paid more. So within the front office, you've got sales and trading, you've got investment banking, you've got asset management, private wealth management, and one or two other divisions. Now, a lot of people, when they hear banking and finance or investment banking or investment banks, they think of the investment banking division. This is the part of the front office that does the longest hours, as opposed to, let's say, sales and trading or asset management, where the work-life balance tends to be a bit better. Now, personally, I went into asset management because I was more interested in the work that they do. I didn't want to work extremely long hours when I started out. Rather than doing 14 to 18-hour shifts, I was happy to do 10 to 13, 14-hour shifts. That's to clear that up. I was never in investment banking division. I was always in asset management. Can you please talk about why you stopped and how you prefer what you do now compared to working at Goldman? So, when I was at Goldman, this is very important, and I say this to a lot of students when I go and talk at universities, is when you first start your career, stay in your role for 2 years, and then after 2 years, between the 2 to 5 year gap, you want to step back and analyze if you're happy in your current role, if you are growing in your current role, or if you're more interested in a different company or a different industry or something completely different. And so within that 2 to 5 year gap, I had to step back and analyze if I was happy in my role. Personally, I didn't feel like I was where I wanted to be. I felt like I exhausted the role, and I just had more of an interest in entrepreneurship, public speaking, and running my own company. And I had various other projects and ideas that I couldn't do at an investment bank that I had to go and do on my own. And so it took a lot of time for me to kind of take that leap of faith and decide to go and pursue these passion projects or climb within a corporate. It really came down to, one, do I want to stay in a large company and stay there for the rest of my career, or do I want to take a risk and pursue my entrepreneurial ventures, public speaking, social mobility, and have a go at doing my own thing, risk it. If it works out, then great, amazing. If it completely messes up, there will always be a job at a large investment bank that I could just go back into. So I decided to take that risk, and it's been just over a year now, and I can't complain. I'm not looking back. It's been the best decision I've ever made, and I'm just more fulfilled. I'm more focused. I'm doing the things that I want to do. So yeah, that's kind of the reason why I decided to pursue my entrepreneurial ideas and ventures, as opposed to staying in a large corporate and pursue a traditional career. Okay, next question is from Random Gamer. Now, some of these questions are repetitive, so I'm gonna tweak them accordingly so that the viewer can gain the most value. So this one is, how did your interest develop towards banking and finance? Tell us a bit more about your business. Where are you from? My interest really developed towards getting a role within the world of banking and finance when I was pre-university. So between A-level and university, I knew I didn't want to be a lawyer, a doctor, an engineer. These are the common career paths for someone growing up in an Asian household. Now, I was always interested in, as well as football, I was always interested in kind of putting on a suit and being a businessman or working in the city. And so I just did some research online. I Googled investment banks. Someone came to our school and did a talk, and I tried to get involved. I tried to gain an insight, some work experience before university. I went to like one-day insight days at various banks, and it just seemed interesting to me. And so when I went into university, I realized there were these things called Insight Weeks in the UK, and so I tried to just go and explore and network and find out about the different divisions within the different banks. When I came across asset management, I dug deeper and I realized my skill set and my interests aligned nicely with asset management. And then that's when I just did my internship applications to asset management, and then I managed to get the offer at Goldman Sachs. So that's how I kind of developed an interest towards asset management. Next part of your question was, tell us a bit more about your business and where are you from? So my parents are from Bangladesh, as mentioned previously, and I'm from London. So I live in London and I've been born and raised in London. A bit more about my business. Question from Max Sundberg. Why have you got 2 copies of The Intelligent Investor? So there's one down there and then one up there. 2 copies of The Intelligent Investor. Reason for that is because one is mine and one is my wife's. Now, there are a few double copies on this bookshelf. It's because me and my wife, we share similar interests and we don't realize that we have the same copies of some books. But we need to get rid of the duplicates, so we might do a giveaway, we might give them to charity, but that's why we have 2 copies. Question from Kishan Kavadia. When will you come to India? If your school or university or company wants me to come and do a talk in India, let's make it happen. Send me an email to info@afzalhussain.com. More than happy to travel the world and talk to different groups of individuals. Where did you meet your wife for the first time? I actually met my wife in university. We were both on the same course studying economics and finance, and yeah, the rest is history. Okay, now we're going to do a few questions that came through on Instagram. Apologies if I haven't answered your question. There were too many to go through. Also, before we move on, if you would like me to go into more detail on any one of these questions, leave a comment below. And there's a lot of room for video content on these questions. So if that would be of interest to you, leave a comment below and I'll be happy to add it to the list. Okay, question on Instagram from justme_Paul. Are you working for Ernst & Young right now? Yes and no. So I don't work for Ernst & Young and get paid. I volunteer. So Ernst & Young have a charity arm which is called the EY Foundation. Now the EY Foundation does a lot of work helping young people become ready for the world of work and help them get the right opportunities after they finish their A-levels or GCSEs. And this is something I'm interested in, helping young people. And so there was an opportunity for me to be a part of this, and I successfully managed to be a part of it. My role there is I'm the chair of the youth panel. So they have a youth panel, young people who kind of put the young person's voice into the work that the foundation does, and I'm one of the chairs on that panel. In addition to this, I'm hopefully going to be a trustee or a board member of the EY Foundation, and that's in the pipeline. So yes and no, I do and don't work for EY Foundation. Do I have any nicknames? No, I don't. No nicknames whatsoever. Next question is from Bryce Kadima. What's your favorite kind of music? Do you listen to music while working? I don't listen to music while working because I like to be kind of focused and concentrating. Sometimes if it's very light work, it doesn't require too much focus, then I might play music. In terms of the type of music, I grew up listening to a lot of UK garage and rap and old school hip hop, so I am a fan of rap, hip hop, anything with a fast tempo, a fast beat. I'd like to think I listen to a range of different genres, but my go-to is rap and hip hop. 2 questions from Matty Dutz, or Matty Dutz. What did you want to be when you were a kid, and what motivates you to work hard? As mentioned before, I wanted to be a footballer when I was a kid, and what motivates me to work hard? I think naturally, and a lot of my friends and my wife and my siblings will tell you that I am generally quite a motivated individual. So if I'm just at home or around and there's nothing to do, I would get bored out of my mind. I can't really take extended holidays because I get bored, so I always need to be doing something. So I've always just been motivated to kind of be better and better. Personal growth, personal development, all these things are very important to me. And most of the books I read they tend to be self-help books. So I've always kind of tended to be quite motivated and had a growth mindset as opposed to a fixed and stable mindset. Humairastagram asks, how did you and your wife meet? We met at university, and where is she from? My wife is from Vietnam, so similar to me, she was born in the UK, but her parents are from Vietnam, and she's had quite an international upbringing, so she's lived in so many different countries. She's got like a weird American/Canadian/English accent, so that's where she's from. And the last question today is from Tim Taters, and he is asking, what is my favorite childhood memory? My favorite childhood memory is, it's tricky to pick one, so I'm gonna cheat and I'm gonna say all of my childhood, because you know, when you're a kid, you didn't have 101 responsibilities. You literally go home from school and you just chill out, you go outside, you play football with your mates, 0 responsibilities. And sometimes I just look out the window and I reminisce, and I think, when it was childhood days, it was so good. All your close friends were about, you had your close group of friends, family, but as time goes on, everyone grows up and everyone gets distant. So childhood was beautiful. So yeah, that was my favorite childhood memory. If you enjoyed this video, do give it a thumbs up. It would mean a lot, and if you haven't, please do consider subscribing to the channel for weekly videos every Wednesday. Hopefully you've enjoyed this video. If you have any video suggestions, leave them in the comments below, and I will see you next Wednesday with a brand new video. Peace!